Alright, it is a beautiful day out, so I think it's time to do some work on the Jeep. Get back to mechanicals. So, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I'm running the Iron Rock off-road steering, and I'm really digging it. It's really smooth, it's really responsive, and I've been loving it. Looks like the outer heims are starting to rust a little bit, but the inner balls are still looking beautiful, so that's good. I cannot say the same for my track bar. So, this is my Rubicon Express track bar. Came with the 4.5-inch kit, and it did well, but when I went to 6 inches, it wasn't quite meant for 6 inches, so when I adjusted it to be center under the vehicle, I didn't realize there was only like a couple threads holding it in, and it actually pulled itself out on one of the trails, so that wasn't exactly the most fun thing to deal with, but luckily I got it back in there, and it's been holding up ever since. But that heim's pretty shot, and I think it wiggles around a little bit. I get a little bit of highway wobble and wandering, and it's really annoying. It's not like uncontrollable, but it's just, you know, it's not smooth. So you can tell that that heim's kind of shot after a couple years of mud and salt and abuse and whatnot. So, it's time to get some beef. Alright, yes, a big old box, our favorite. So this comes to us straight from IronMan 4x4 Fab. They actually contacted me on my steering video and was like, hey, we see your track bar is in need of some replacement. We could help you out. So we worked out a little deal so I can make them a video and get a discount on one of their track bar systems. So, the really cool thing about this is that it also comes with a brace to go to the passenger side so that it's extra stiff. And they got some other really cool brackets that help brace up the steering. And it's actually pretty creative. So, let's open this thing up and see what's inside. Only been waiting a month for the damn thing to show up, so. Alright, so this is a double shear system. Comes with its own new track bar bracket. And enduro joints, I believe. And it's got some crazy amount, like 6 inches of thread engagement on its adjusters. So, he asked me what color I wanted in. Their stock color is that nice, like, sky blue. But I'm not much of a blue guy, so I asked him if, you know, black or red was okay. He said, yeah, sure. It's one of the colors that they offer. Might have been part of the reason why there's a few delays. But it looks nice. All the hardware is like pre-installed, so it's easy to figure out where everything goes. That's nice. And we get stickers. That's a good comparison of the blue color that they have too. And even a magnet calendar. Awesome. You can mark off them Jeep events now. Oh wow. That's got some gravity to it. Okay, okay. Nice. Let's unwrap these puppies and take a gander. And a pen. Jeez, they're really pushing it. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. That's all weird. Ugh. Oh, yeah. It never ends. Come on. There's so much of it. Holy fuck, finally. Alright. So, here it is. Check her out. Got ourselves a track bar mount for the axle side. Full replacement. And it's double shear, nice and strength. And here's the main prize. Look at the beef on that enduro joint, man. Good God, that thing's massive. And this is their claim to fame right here. Look at all that thread engagement. That's serious business. Especially if you compare it to something over here. It's like, goddamn. Wowzers. And here's the frame support that goes from one side to the other. Now you can also get this unwelded in case you have frame damage and this doesn't want to fit right. So hopefully mine fits. You know, I only nicked a tree at 15 miles an hour once. It would have been nice to see a lot more of this material instead of all that fucking saran wrap bullshit. And even then, the paint still didn't survive. So, I don't know. If you care about that, it might be an issue, but I don't care. I just want to put the damn thing on. See if it fixes my steering. And it comes with a greasable Zerk fitting. Sweet! No instructions, but I guess they don't really need it. I'm pretty sure that you reuse all your factory hardware. So, see if we can't figure it out. Alright, so the full kit is a little on the pricey side, especially for someone like me that likes to be really cheap. But you can order it without that center brace if you don't want it. And that does bring the price down a decent amount, so that's rather affordable again. Alright, let's see what it takes to put this thing in. Looks like this hardware is for the enduro joint, the big beefy mama. And then the cross brace has all the bolts on it. So we will be reusing this hardware over here on the bottom side, and this hardware over here on the top side. So I've got no idea how much of a pain in the ass these are going to be. So I guess it's time to get the pee-pee blaster out. See if she don't come free. But first, a snack. Alright, so first we're going to take ourselves a little half-inch extension and just break it. Just kidding, we ain't got time for that. Let's go! How many ooga doogas does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? And time. Dr. Prybar. Thank you. Timber! Alright, one side down. Sweet! Now for the hard part. Nice. My Jeep's a Jeep. My Jeep's made in America, okay? America, America, America. Yeah, we'll tell that to your French computer system and your metric frickin' bolts. Hello, Mr. 18. Prepare to die. Where are the bolts at? They're right there. No. Higher. Yes. 18mm wrench, yeah. We must hold them, yeah. Bolts are free. Ah, yeah, like it, aye. Get out of bed. Well, that was actually, relatively easy. When you have the right tools, anyway. So we got a little Biffy. And a lot of Biffy. My. Sweet! Alright, I'm going to assume that we want to put in this bracket first. So, I put the bottom bolts in down here. Sorry for the sunlight, Jesus. I put those nuts in just to hold it in place so that we can get these guys back on. And put the nuts in on the back side. Okay, so once you're done giving your Jeep a nice big bear hug, you can get the bolts in. Excuse me. Dick. That guy's just a big old airhead. And then you can get your nuts in from over there. Now then, if you notice the bracket's sitting a little low, so what we're going to do is tighten up the bottom first so that it brings it up. So it's sitting nice and tight on the frame. No instruction manual, so I guess the usual 2 ooga doogas should be torqued to spec. Okay, so I got them slightly tight. And if you notice, the bracket sticks out a little bit. So now when we tighten that top one up, it should suck it into place. Or it'll bend the frame to where it needs to be. Whatever works. Yeah, I just gave her like ooga dooga 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 and she was tight, okay? Yeah, she's never coming off. Wrong. Check your tools. Always torque with a man wrench. That way, you know it's actually tight. Don't trust your power tools. God damn, that enduro joint's stiffer than a wedding prick. Hard to get that motherfucker to move. Alright, so if we can line that up, maybe we should do that side last since that's the adjuster end. We're gonna come over here and put the axle side in first. So with this one, we just got our little we just got our bolt over here, and then the wonderful flag nut. Now, the problem with this thing is it's really freaking hard to get the thing aligned. You gotta hold it back and you gotta hold it just right. It's easier when you have the hole open and you just look through and then hold it until you have it where you need it, so you have an idea of what to do. But basically, it's easier to just have like an impact go slowly and just keep holding this thing until it grabs. It's a pain in the butt, but yeah, just hit that in there, tighten her up, and she'll be good. No problem. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that it's possible to get this in easily. Hopefully there's enough room for wrenches even with that in the way. I have a feeling it might not be, and I probably want to do the brace first. Alright, hope you like working with the metric club. It's a 10.9 right there. So these bolts go over yonder, but they don't fit. I thought that was like a welded nut up there, but I don't see any threads in there. Am I drunk? I'm not seeing anything. I don't freaking know. So we're gonna have to drill that out to 15-30 seconds or something around there, and hopefully we can get this to fit. I feel like maybe the bigger the better. I would have really liked to see if these were slotted just a little bit. That way you got some wiggle room, because again, like I mentioned, since I fucking nailed my frame on a tree, I'm pretty sure it pushed it in just a little bit. So hopefully I can get it to actually bolt up. We shall see. Well, shit, Captain, I think we got ourselves a problem. I can't get a straight shot on it because my steering's in the way. Bruh. And even if I did get that one, I don't know how the heck I'd get the back one. Fug. Alright. Oh. So, I don't know if this one was at all smaller. Maybe like, it's just almost immeasurable. But having the tire pointed all the way driver, I was able to finally get the drill kind of where it needed to be straight. It wasn't very straight, but it was enough that I could finally get it to feed. I had to start from like 3/8. That hole was actually very small. And then work my way up to a 15/32. And now the bolt that I just lost is... Aha. So now she fits. Lovely. Can I get it to fit? I don't know, guess we'll find out. Okay, so I just quickly slapped a bolt in here on this side. So this is what it looks like. It's got clearance for the pan. Although, I don't feel like that clearance is quite as centered as it could be. I don't know. Again, part of it could be due to frame damage. I'm not 100% gonna blame them yet. But also this definitely doesn't line up. Also because the aforementioned issues. So that's why it would have been nice to have maybe some kind of slide on this side, just so you can make some fine adjustments if need be. So I'm not sure how I'm going to fit this. I don't know. Might have to install it some other time. Or the other thing is, we would have to loosen up the track bar bracket and get this bolted down, and then squeeze that together. And then hopefully by tightening it, maybe it'll push the frame where it needs to be. I don't know. This is one of those kind of tough to call decisions, but as of right now, it's not going to fit. I kind of figured. Oh well. We don't need it for the track bar to work, but it is nice to have. Alright, so my holes are kind of on the wrong end of 5 for me to see, but that's sort of kind of what we're going for. So we're going to want to cut into these sides over here. So let's see what we can accomplish. So I'm going to see if I can force them in there. It's off by a little, but I don't know, maybe a nice sledge will persuade it otherwise and hopefully not fuck the threads up. Yes, thank you, my friend. You talk some understanding into him. Alright, they're in there. Fuck it. I'm gonna bolt these all up. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 20 to shut up. Take backsies, it's a 21. Yeah, whatever. Maybe the nuts are 22. They're all fucking nuts. Get in there. Okay, so when you slide this track bar in, it's gonna bolt up to this bottom hole. Now obviously we can see our hole doesn't line up, so we're gonna have to extend this a bit, which is fine since it's basically bottomed out anyway. I want to see if I can get the Zerk on the bottom. That'd be nice just for, you know, servicing. Now, in order to figure out, first off, if your axle is straight, under the vehicle. There's two ways to do it. And the first way doesn't really work well for me anymore, but basically you look at the door handles, right? So you can see them both. You go like this and line them up, and then check your tread and see if the same amount of tread is sticking out on both sides. So you can see there's about that much there. And then you come over here and line it up about there. And you can kind of see the tread. So she looks kind of even. It's a little hard. Maybe it's over to the driver's side just a little bit. But I think I read somewhere that if your wheels are directly straight, you can measure from the tire to the frame on both sides and check your measurements and see. So I want to try that and see how accurate that is. Okay, so basically we want to be as close to the center of the tire as possible, but the spring gets in the way. So we're just going to go a little farther back and have that centered against the frame and all that good stuff. So what I did was I looked at the bottom nub and the top nub right there and lined them up like so. So we have the height out there. And then I looked at the tape measure to like the edge of the tread, sort of, kinda. So there's like a nice ridge. So let me line up again right about there. And that's at 21 and like maybe 3 dashes. So that's what, 3/16. And we come over here, do the same thing, go towards the back. Make sure the tape measure is up to that frame rail dash. Oh yeah. And then we come over here and we find some nubs that we can line up somewhere around there. And this one's at 21 and I can't see. That's about 21 and probably an eighth. So the body is over to the driver's side about 1/16 of an inch. Are you gonna notice that? No, not really. But if that's, you know, accurate and all that stuff, that's a really good way to figure out if your vehicle's center. Basically what we'd want to do is make the track bar slightly, very slightly longer than the bracket, and then see if you could wiggle it in. Okay, so you keep turning this thing out counterclockwise until she fits. So just slide her down, spin her, and slide it back in. Once you got that enduro joint positioned properly, it should fit in there. Oops, rather well. It's a little heavy though. So now I'm going to see if I can get the bolt in. It'd be really cool if they could have found bolts that have those little like alignment nipples on there, so you can get it in better, but little things. They're probably hard to find. So I'm just going to put the bolt in there now, just to hold it in place. Okay, so while we're here trying to line this up, let me show you a quick lesson about why track bars are actually important. So I'm going to turn the wheel, and you can watch what the track bar does. So as you can see, without the track bar, you're not really turning. You're just kind of shaking the body around. So, definitely better to put these in first, and then this, which I kind of figured why I didn't tighten that down. Put this one in, so that you can actually get a wrench back there, and then put this one in so that you can, you know, and then reach that one. I couldn't fit the washer on both, and I don't know if that's because of the way I had to drill things and get it all to fit kind of bootleggedly. But a few tips, I would probably have these holes drilled a little farther apart so those washers can actually both fit. And two, on this thing, add a little bit of a slide so there's a little bit of play. That'd be really nice. This side over here went together okay once I drilled those whatever the hell things they were out. So that looks alright. Also, hole under here doesn't quite line up right. I don't want to, fuck, R.I.P. I don't want to say that that's completely my frame, because that's off by quite a bit. I don't know. Anyway, ram this guy home, make sure it's torqued. I torqued it down like 125 at least. And we tightened down that bottom bolt down there. And I think she's good. I think it's time for a test drive. So it's a lot darker out, but everything's all tightened up. Everything's all clean. And it's looking alright. Nothing fell off in the quick test drive I took, so that's good. It feels pretty solid. I gotta straighten out my steering wheel a little bit, but that's expected. So now you can see it all in the daylight. Ooh. So, I got the drive on it last night, and holy crap, it does great. Certainly tighter than my stock steering, and now it doesn't really seem to shake anymore. I didn't get it all the way up to like highway speeds, but I got it up to decently fast, and it seems like it tracks a little better. So, you know, the steering's sensitive and responsive, so you have to keep, I guess, a sort of kind of eye on it, but now it doesn't seem like it wants to wander as much, so this thing's doing its job. So I guess we'll see if this actually does anything on the trail. Find out if everything's good. I'll have to keep an eye on that transmission line, make sure it's not touching. Don't want all that stroke or torque to cause any issues. But everything else is tight, and it looks good, so can't complain. It all fits. That's what we like. And hey, the red adds a little excitement underneath the Jeep, so can't complain there. Okay, so last step after the test drive is to straighten out the steering wheel. No, not like that. So after you drive it down the road and you know about where your steering wheel points when you're going straight ahead, try and leave it there. Make sure the steering wheel's unlocked. If we come down yonder, this will vary depending on your steering setup, and we can still do the same thing on stock steering. So, this bar that goes up to the steering box, the pitman arm, this whole drag link dealio, that is what we want. So with the tires pointing straight ahead, we come up to this double adjuster and we extend it or contract it in order to get the steering wheel to point where we want it to. So all we do on my kit is loosen up these two nuts and then spin the adjuster until it's where we need it to be. On this kit, it actually has flats machined for a wrench, but using the words, the noodle. On the stock adjuster, you'll have to use a pipe wrench or something to get on there. It's a bit of a pain, but you can get it to turn eventually. Okay, I guess we should tighten down this lock nut. You'll need yourself a king dick wrench in order to do it. This is an 18-incher. Holy shite. Cool. No, really. This thing's a monster. Righteous. Okay, so the final torque spec of any mod that you should be making is to add a sticker. Nice. No, not that sticker. This sticker. Good test to any company. See how well their sticker works. Alright. So she's been very smooth. No noise, no knocking, no nothing. And I don't know what it was today, but holy crap, today it just decided to be real nice. Like, oh, she handles like a dream now. So, IronMan 4x4 Fab, big ol' shout out and a thumbs up. Thank ya. The kit could use some very small modifications, but they're definitely in the right direction. This is a very nice kit. It's very nice and beefy, so it should be plenty strong for anything you're throwing at it. I dig. Alright, go check them out, along with their steering box supports and all kinds of cool stuff. IronMan 4x4 Fab. Yeah, baby.